Hi guys, and welcome to my Mythic Tindral Sageswift P3 guide just after the nerfs. Okay, so what I'm going to go through with you is the positioning and array plan. Then I'll go through all the assignments and how they differ in P3 compared to the other phases. Then I'll take you through the actual content. I'll probably add this flying phase in as well. But yeah, just to let you know, that is the plan. And hopefully by the end of this guide, you'll be able to kill it. Okay guys, so the start of the fight, you've landed, you've nuked down the shield. Good job. It's not a easy shield to do. It's quite hard to DPS. So well done. Basically what happens after that is you've got him stood here and a load of blue meteors come down. So I won't draw that, but loads of blue meteors, dodge, 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 dodge. You then have to quickly get around the boss with roots. Okay, so everybody will just hug around, hug around, hug around. You then need to very quickly pick up the flares, obviously, dive bomb the roots, get them freed, get them nuked out as quickly as you can. And then what happens is he is going to change to his tree form just after casting a firebeam. So you have a firebeam right on top of you here. Okay. And what you need to do is one of your tanks, the one that's off tanking, should have already moved over. What we do is we do 2 marks sort of up here. We want the Dispells. And essentially he'll have taunted it early, okay? And you want Tindral to try and run as close to these marks as possible to start casting seeds, okay? So essentially, yeah, move as soon as possible, and then he'll cast a load of seeds around here. So you have loads and loads and loads of seeds. So the problem with these seeds is they can be within beams. There can be beams going through them. Generally they're quite nasty, so essentially you need to make sure that you are just keeping an eye out on where all of these are. We did that melee take the ones by the fire, and range take the ones around here, and tanks you really don't want to move the boss much, so you just kind of get the boss here, plant it there, and keep it there. It's much easier for the next mechanics if that's what happens and you're not running around. I think mushrooms come in very soon afterwards, so yeah, make sure that you basically run away from the beam, pick up all the seeds, all good, okay? Okay, so you have a little bit of chill time before the Dispells come in here. And what happens is you want to keep the boss nice and close here. And essentially you have one set of roots that comes in, you DPS down, you then have seeds that come in. While these seeds are happening, that's when you taunt out to here. So if I just show you this one, basically what happens is you keep them nice and in here, you get roots. You keep them nice and in here, you get seeds. When the seeds come in, you move them out to here or wherever is far enough, okay? Then you jump to this picture, and essentially after you finish the seeds, you get back into this position, okay? What you're going to have now is you're going to have Dispells crossing over with roots pretty quickly, okay? So what you want to do is you're going to want to freedom 1 and 2. If you've got the same weak aura, then not to worry, it will tell you to freedom 1 and 2. Okay, but essentially one should be stood here anyway, because it's your ranged healers. So whether you've got 1 or 2 of them, they should be stood there, ready to either dispel themselves or get the dispel. 2 will actually be in the middle, and 3 and 4 will be in the middle as well. What's going to happen is the roots are going to come in. This is going to get dispelled and freedomed. The second player on the list, the number 2 player, will get freedomed, and they'll run straight out here. They've got so much space, number 2. Like, they can go wherever they want. Just go this direction, okay? And then basically there's going to be the dive bombs come down, and we're going to nuke it very quickly. Then a firebeam is going to get cast. Okay, 3 and 4 do not have to wait for the firebeam. If they're freed before the firebeam comes in, they can run out here already and get in position. Okay, but everybody else basically waits for the firebeam and then they gateway out. Okay, so gateway out here to safety. And then 3 and 4, just make sure that they don't die. That's their only job at this point in time with the dispel. Make sure they don't die. Once you've gatewayed over here and the boss has run over here with you, okay, and the firebeam's doing its thing, you get quite a horrible meteor come in. So you need to make sure you stay alive at that point. Do not die to that meteor, okay? And then you're sort of over here, ready for the next set of mechanics, all right? Okay, so you've moved over. You've dealt with the blue, it's fine. Then what happens if you get some mushrooms come in, okay, into roots. So nothing too bad. If you've lived the blue, you're fine. You get mushrooms, tanks deal with that. You get the roots, and you'll know how to deal with that. You don't panic, okay? After these roots, you have another set of seeds come in, Okay, and with those seeds, you know exactly what you're doing. You do not need to panic. You just deal with those seeds. You go and pick them up, and that's absolutely fine. Okay, so during these seeds that are happening, the dispels start to spawn. Okay, so these seeds you can deal with, not a problem, but just you got to be careful. You got to be communicating, being like where these seeds are coming in. Okay, so you're clear these seeds, and you go back to the normal 1, 2, 3, 4 of dispelling. Okay, so let's delete that, and let's go look at this one. So one thing that you don't need to worry about, this has been drawn as like best case scenario. What you'll probably end up with is like 1 will be here, 2 will be like here, maybe 4 will be here, 3 will be here. Like it honestly just doesn't matter. Just as long as they're not, you know, horrible, then you're absolutely fine. Okay, but yeah, make sure these guys stay alive, make sure that the seeds have been dealt with, and put them in a manner that you're going to have some space over here, and you'll be absolutely fine. So as these dispels are being done, so 1, 2, 3, 4, you're still going to be feeding them 3 and 4. So as you've done the first 2, you get roots. Okay, so everybody stacks here. Okay, and you want to deal with the roots. You feed them 3 and 4 as normal. Everybody stacks around boss. You dive bombs normal, and then you're going to have some blue swirlies come in, which is really, really annoying. But still, you want to get everybody cleared as quick as possible. So basically, they don't have to be stood in the blue swirlies, because it might lead to a death at a point that's not that difficult. But if you can get it cleared quick, then it's really not an issue. And then just as you're finishing the blue and the roots, you get a firebeam, because of course, why wouldn't you? So you get the firebeam, and then essentially what we do, move the boss over here. Okay, so we're going to play it on the edge. So like there's not many spaces that the last set of seeds could spawn. So we move it out here. I don't really like, there's no point in this, so I'll just do it from here. So we move it out here. Firebeam's going off, all nasty, and you're over here with the boss. Okay, this lasts for quite a while, and it will affect the next set of roots. So finally, you're right at the end. The boss will not have much health. If the boss does have much health, you're going to struggle, but it shouldn't have that much health. You move over here. The firebeam's coming all out at you. Okay, you get a set of roots, so you will get around the boss, and you obviously get your flare bombs, but you get a set of roots. You will get around the boss. You have to try and clear these roots relatively quickly. You need to keep an eye on where the beams are coming from. You don't want to like stand here when there's a beam here, because you still don't want loads of treants. But basically, if there's a beam coming through, you free yourself, right? You get out, but you don't just stand in a fire beam unless you've got an immunity or something like that. So you roots, you have fire beams coming through, and then you have the very last set of seeds. You do not want to miss any of these seeds. If you're stuck in a root, you get yourself out and you go and get a seed. The boss will be very low health, and it's more important that you get the seed and kill yourself if you've not got a dispel than letting a seed go off. So basically, at this end point, if you're in a root and you can see a seed's not being done or anything like that, you just make sure you get it. You'll then get 4 dispels that will probably get cast. And what we did is, because the damage was fine, you don't need to dispel those dispels. You just make sure that they've got sacks. You make sure that if you've got any sort of paladins, they lay on hands already. Pain suppression, everything, you just chuck it on the dispels. Don't dispel them, and just burn the boss after those seeds. Okay, there will be some mushrooms come in. Don't let your tanks forget about them. They can just wipe the raid there and then if they just forget about them. So make sure they're doing them. And yeah, that's a general overview of the movement. So I'll go through a couple of assignments and then I'll show you the fight. Okay, so with the assignments, you're well on top of them by now. You don't need me to go over them. If you've got through P1 and P2, you know what you're doing. Your players know what you're doing with them. The only thing you need to know is in P3, Team 1 goes up twice and Team 2 goes up twice. Okay? And they need to know when they're going up. Obviously, it should give them a shout and all that kind of stuff, but they just can't forget it. Okay? So all the same stuff as I spoke about before. You go from the fire. That's how you orientate yourself. And Team 1 go up twice. Team 2 go up twice. Okay? With this section, so you had 2 in the first phase, 3 in the second phase. This, why I've put none here, is it does not cross over with roots. Okay, so the first dispel in this phase does not cross over with roots. They just go out, they get dispelled, they have a great time. Nothing to worry about. And so you can just put no one in those. This one will tell these 2 players to do 1 and 2 freedoms. Okay, so you need to make sure that they're aware they're doing 1 and 2 freedom. They don't get confused when that comes up in the weak aura, but the weak aura will tell them to do 1 and 2 at this point. That's how the weak aura is sorted if you're using liquid. And then these 2 just as normal. Again, make sure you're not putting these ones on the ones when they're going up, because it won't happen. That's it really. The only other thing to talk about is on the way to P3, while you're flying, you want to put 1 tank going through the middle and onto the right. You want to put 1 tank going through the middle and up to the left. All of the DPS and healers and whatever should be going through the middle and picking up all the stuff they need to in the middle. What I suggest for these 2 are you go through, you pick up 1 ball that's very obvious and very easy, and then you fly up, you get your extra vigor stacks, you just use all of it, you just keep going, you pick up 2 round to the right, pick up 2 round to the left, and then you land. When you land, the supernova cast will just be starting, okay? So, yeah, just make sure it's your 2 tanks, because no one else will really be able to survive the supernova cast tick. It should be those 2, and other than that, you should be well on top of assignments by now. It should not be an issue. Obviously, this has shifted a little bit, okay? So there's now 3 different places, and they need to be aware of that, but they should be. This shouldn't be an issue. If you can get through P1 and P2, assignments are not an issue now, it's just execution, okay? Okay, so as with last time, I'll go through ranged, and then we'll go into the melee perspective. So supernova is finished. You're going to have the blue stuff come in, you're going to want to dodge that, you're going to want the people to pick up their flare bombs, and then everybody under boss for these roots. Okay, you want this to be nice and efficient, and you want them to die quickly. Your tank should be taunting and running away now, because the cast is happening. There you go, you see him going over, goes into tree, fine. You dodge this, and then you can see the seeds spawn. Okay, do not miss any. Make sure you do not miss any. There's 1. Well, are we going to get it? Oof, we just got it. Good. Fine, the spells are coming in now, so with mushrooms, but the spells go and get in position. Number 1 done really quickly. Nice. Number 2, number 3, and number 4. Tanks, not a problem if you're in the fire, you know how to deal with that. More blue stuff, more damage. Next set of roots. So we keep the boss by the fire here. And the reason we do that is because we want to get the seeds cast that happens after this to be nice and close to the fire. So here it comes. You can see it's pretty okay. There wasn't any in horrible spots. Then we move it away for the next set of dispels. You don't need to move it away as far on this set, because remember, it's 1 and 2 that are getting freedom. So you can see they're out there up the top. And we're nuking. We're not in too big a rush until, there you go, that's in. Everybody gets out, everybody gateways out. Okay, and 3 and 4 have just found themselves some safe positions to get dispelled in. Straight into the blue fire, straight into fire beams everywhere, just survive. It calms down a little bit here before it ramps up again. So you're going to have the mushrooms, not a problem. You're going to have some more roots coming in. So under you get, okay, and then you get ready to free these. Go. Get straight into these seeds, don't miss any. Good, and then you're going to get the next set of dispels into a new set of roots. As normal, you freedom 3 and 4 here. Okay, we might be a little bit close. You know, we weren't perfect. We were probably a little bit too close to the fire, but that's fine. Everybody gets dispelled. It's a bit chaotic. Doesn't matter. So here, you're getting everybody freed from the roots. And then you're going to get the fire beam, and you pull them into the corner of the room, or we prefer to put them into the corner of the room. Any sort of space strat is viable, but this is just what felt right for us. Okay, so they go up and pick their dive bombs up. We get in for these roots. You don't want to be stood where the fire is. And then seeds. Whatever's happening with these roots, if you need to freedom yourself, like Hunter did there, just do it. Okay, 1 left over there. Oh, we just about got it. Good. New set of dispels. They just spread. We could stack them as well, but they just spread. We do not do them. Here comes the mushrooms. And yeah, we just survive, and kill it. So coming into my perspective, you can see we have a little notice that says use health pots if we get really low on time, that it really does hit hard. So you got to use a health pot to help the healers top you up. So yeah, same thing as last time. You have the fallen star. All I'm concerned about here is moving the boss in a timely manner, So I get him far enough over. So firebeam's cast. I've already taunted him. Over he comes. Get him as close as possible. Okay, fine positioning. So I don't really want to move a lot here. So I don't really do a seed here. So as a tank here, you just want to keep him in position for these mushrooms coming in. Okay, so you do that, and then you get the dispels coming in. Again, as a tank here, if you need to call out for speed, you just do it. And if you need to call out for an external, you might not get it because other stuff are going, but I don't think you should die here anyway. So what's important about this bit is that we're keeping it nice and close to the fire. The reason for that is obviously you get seeds right after these roots. Closer to the fire you are, the less room the seeds have to spawn. So very, very, very nice to keep it as close to the fire as you can there. Also, the next dispels, we're close to 3 and 4. And basically what you kind of want is there to be a line of 1, 2, 3, 4 old dispels, and then into 3 and 4 of new dispels. And then 1 and 2 can just go to the left here. So you can see here, this number 2 player is the person that's underneath the boss right now and needs a freedom, so they can move into position to be dispelled in the right place. Okay. And then you can see there's just so much going on. We all get way away from there. We try and get into a safe spot. You don't let yourself die, probably a cooldown here. You don't die to a beam, you don't hit a blue swirly. The dispels keep themselves alive, they'll have externals. Your paladins are on it for laying hands, all of that kind of stuff. And it's kind of okay at this point. If you've got to this point and everybody's alive, it's a little bit more chill until the last final ramp. So here we go, we get this. You get these done really quickly, you pick up seeds really quickly, and then you're going to get another set of roots with dispels, and then you're going to get another firebeam. Okay. So you've got a lot of damage going off as well. As long as your dispels are not like on top of your raid, you're fine. So you get the spells done, you get them freedomed. Ours isn't, but he's alive, so it's fine. You kill these as quick as you can, and then you peg it to the corner. Okay. You know, you've seen it the last time. You're going to get another roots coming in into seeds, and that's the one that you just really, really, really want to concentrate on. Okay. You don't want to wipe to a seed right at the end here. You can see how low the boss is. All you need to do is make sure you get these seeds. That the flaming trees being up for a little bit is not going to necessarily kill you. It might kill a dispel, but you can kill it by this point. This was probably our worst DPS pool for a long, long time. So we didn't really... We should have killed it by now. And then do not let your tanks sleep on these. They can't sleep on these, okay? They really, really have to do it. Otherwise, you know, you're going to be very sad. And then you kill it. So some tips and tricks on this boss: just ensure that when seeds are out, you're focusing on seeds, and ensure that when hard root crossovers are out, you're focusing on getting the root out or freeing yourself if absolutely needed. And then when blue stuff comes in, you press a cooldown, because it really does hurt with the other stuff going on. And if you do these things, you'll get there. As always, a really special thanks to those that help. It really means a lot, and I appreciate it, and it was a really enjoyable kill to do for us. So if you need anything, just give me a comment and I'll try to help. I'll put everything needed in the information as normal, and thank you very much.